the attempt by the Home Minister to impose peace, to impose a free movement of people between the valley and the hills, is a mistake, a terrible mistake.
Yeah, a terrible mistake right now because, like I said before, it's premature and the government needs to sit down with the stakeholders first and should go with one step at a time.
All the indication that you're getting, whether it's from the governor in Imphal, whether it's from the Home Ministry in Delhi, is that the government is not seriously considering your demand for a separate administration. How unhappy does that make you? How frustrated does that make you?
Right. It is very frustrating, and the frustration can be seen on the 8th of March in Kangpokpi, where the people agitated and protest against the free movement, and that ends up in the loss of lives, and many people, and more than 50 people are injured. So this it shows how much frustrated we are with how the government is handling the issue.
According to the schedule, the next time buses will attempt to ply between Imphal and the hills is tomorrow, Wednesday. If that happens, will we see scenes similar to the ones we saw on Saturday where there was violence, where one person was killed and 43 injured? Is a similar repeat of violence, killing and injuries likely to happen tomorrow if the government goes ahead with its schedule to ply buses?
See, after the agitation and protests we have seen on the 8th of March in Kangpokpi, I don't think the government or the Meitei will attempt to cross again. So if there is going to be such attempt by the Meitei or the government, I think Kuki-Zo people are ready to face them. So we will not allow any such movement of the Meitei people, and we will stop them tooth and nail. So we will not. We will be totally against this free movement as of now.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch the interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.
Hello and welcome to a special interview for The Wire. After 4 months of relative calm, Manipur is once again engulfed in tension and violence. This is a direct result of the Home Minister's decision to enforce the free movement of vehicles on national highways linking the valley with the Kuki-Zo dominated hills. On Saturday, one person was killed and 43 injured, leading to the Kuki-Zo community declaring an indefinite total shutdown. Tomorrow, buses will attempt to ply once again. So what might happen as a result? More importantly, why is the Kuki-Zo community so adamantly opposed to this? And has the Home Minister made a terrible mistake imposing the decision on them? My guest is the spokesperson of both the Kuki-Zo Council as well as the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, Ginza Vualzong. Ginza Vualzong, let me start by trying to understand your position. Why is the Kuki-Zo community so adamantly opposed to the free movement of vehicles on national highways between Imphal, Kangpokpi, and Senapati, as well as Imphal, Bishnupur, and Churachandpur.
Right. Thank you, Karan, for having me back. From day one of the conflict, which is May 3rd of 2023, the Kuki-Zo do not oppose any movement of vehicles on national highway. Only at some point of time when the conflict, when the tension of the conflict rise up, that in Kangpokpi area, the highway was blocked for some point of time. But the blockage was removed later on. So apart from that, the Kuki-Zo people do not stop or oppose any movement of vehicles. In fact, it is the Meitei from the Imphal Valley who oppose the movement of goods of essential commodities going to Kuki-Zo areas like Lamka, Churachandpur, Tengnaupal. All these areas, we do not get any essential commodities coming from the Imphal Valley. So we have been deprived of these supplies ever since the violence started.
Let me clarify your position. You're saying to me that the Kuki-Zo community do not oppose the plying of vehicles on national highways, but all the papers have reported that your position is that free movement between the valley and the hills is not acceptable until the government agrees to the Kuki-Zo demand for a separate administration, in other words, a union territory with an assembly. Is that your position today?
Yes, we are, like I said before, we do not oppose the movement of good. However, we are opposing the movement of the Meitei people because of the security reason. For the past almost 2 years, we have seen killings and destruction of properties happening from Imphal, and there are instances of our people, the Kuki-Zo people, being killed just because they happen to be uh, inside the territory of the Imphal Valley. So that's why we do not welcome this movement of people uh, from both sides. We will not encourage our people to go inside the Imphal Valley, nor do we welcome the Meitei people to come inside our territory at the moment.
Let me once again clarify. If I understood your answer correctly, you're saying you do not oppose the movement of goods. In other words, you do not oppose commercial traffic bringing goods into the hills, but you are opposed to the movement of Meitei people coming to the hills, and equally you're opposed to the movement of the Kuki-Zo people going to the valley. Have I understood correctly?
That's right. That's correct.
But then explain this to me. Why is your present position linking free movement of people with a demand for separate administration, i.e., a union territory and an assembly? Why are you linking the two at the moment?
Right. As you must be aware, and other people must be aware that for the past almost 2 years, because of the ethnic conflicts, we have lost so many lives from the Kuki-Zo side. I think more than 230 life has been lost. 7,000 houses are destroyed. More than 360 place of worship has been destroyed or burned, and more than 40,000 people are rendered homeless. So this is not just a law and order issue, but it is a ethnic cleansing program um, made by the Meitei people against one community, which is the Kuki-Zo. So it's not a law and order issue. And that's the reason why, without addressing the actual concern of the Kuki-Zo people, if the government is trying to impose peace, then it will not work. So that's why we have a political demand in the form of UT with legislature. So until this political demand or a political dialogue is initiated by the government, the practical peace will not happen. So the government must be serious enough to look into the actual concern and problem with Manipur rather than imposing peace forcefully. That's why until unless our issue or our address, uh, which is our demand for a separate administration is addressed, we will not welcome this forcefully imposing peace in Manipur.
So your position is until and unless your demand for a separate administration is addressed, you will not accept the free movement of people, particularly the free movement of Meitei people from the valley into the hills. That is your final position. You're determined to stand by it.
That's right. This is not I think it's too premature right now because the sentiments of the people are very high from both the communities, Métis and the Kuki-Zo. So if you are trying to put us together by forcefully, the end result is, agitation and protests and killings. So the government has to dig into the real issue. They have to take things slowly, and they should address the issue of the people on the ground.
Let me put to you what I believe, or maybe I should say what I assume are the Home Minister's standpoints and give you a chance to respond to them. I presume the Home Minister believes that the free movement of people will facilitate harmony and bring about the restoration of peace and calm. Why are you not willing to accept that?
I think the Home Minister uh, wanted to show the nation and the world that Manipur is back to normalcy by introducing this free movement of the people. This is just a facade because for a lasting peace and harmony in the state, the government must seriously look into the actual problem the people are facing. What we face in Manipur is not a law and order problem. It is an ethnic cleansing program. One community is trying to wipe out another. So just by sending an empty bus to the hill area will not solve the issue. If the government is serious in solving Manipur issue, they should start political intervention.
Let me put to you a viewpoint that the Kuki-Zo community is expressing within the community. This is a viewpoint that has been exchanged within the Kuki-Zo community. I want to put it to you to ask whether, as spokesperson of the Kuki-Zo Council and the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, you accept this viewpoint. There is a view that Amit Shah's decision to enforce free movement on the highways was not about restoring peace, but about restoring the BJP's control in Manipur after Biren Singh's removal. In other words, this is an attempt by the Home Minister to reach out to his Meitei supporters. This is what the Kuki-Zo community is saying within itself. To what extent do you, as spokesperson, agree with it?
Hey, from the beginning of the conflict, the government of India is not serious in solving Manipur issue. They have let Biren Singh, which is the BJP's chief minister, they let him run the government for almost 2 years now after the conflict. And it is very clear that he is not able to run the government, but still they put him as CM. So this speaks volumes of the government lack of interest in solving our issues. Yes, the Meitei have more electoral votes and more representative than the Kuki-Zo. So maybe that's why the BJP government is trying its best to keep Biren Singh as chief minister, and I think they're trying to please the Meitei's sentiments.
So you do agree with that view? You do agree with that view?
That's right.
Let me quote from a statement issued by your Kuki-Zo Council. It says, and I'm quoting, the Kuki-Zo Council firmly emphasizes that while the idea of peace is indeed welcomed by all, it cannot be achieved through the imposition of force at the expense of a particular community. Forcing peace upon unwilling parties can lead to further conflict, undermining the very goal of harmony. Yet that is precisely what the Home Minister has attempted to do. Would you therefore say this is a deliberate folly on his part?
Right. President rule can be imposed, but peace cannot be imposed. That is my opinion. Peace cannot be achieved by using security forces. Lasting peace can only be achieved by properly analyzing the issue and sitting down with the stakeholders to sort it out. In our case, it is not a law and order issue. It is a political issue where one ethnic group is being targeted and attempt to remove from the state. So a political solution will only bring peace. So if the government is planning to solve the issue as a law and order issue, I think the government will fail. So it has to address the issue which is actually ongoing here in Manipur.
So the attempt by the Home Minister to impose peace, to impose a free movement of people between the valley and the hills, is a mistake, a terrible mistake.
Yeah, a terrible mistake right now because, like I said before, it's premature and the government needs to sit down with the stakeholders first and should go with one step at a time.
Now, in response, the Kuki-Zo Council has imposed an indefinite, complete shutdown. There was some speculation yesterday, according to the Hindustan Times, that it might have been lifted, but in fact, there was a clarification that it hasn't been lifted, that indefinite, complete shutdown continues. Let me begin by asking you, how effective is that shutdown?
Right, the shutdown is our way of showing that we are not happy with what the government tried to introduce, the free movement. So, and also there are comments or there are steps taken by the Métis civil society which provoke the sentiments of the Kuki-Zo people. So all this put together agitate and led to the agitation and the protest by the Kuki-Zo. So the Kuki-Zo Council have announced indefinite shutdown in all Kuki-Zo areas, and the people adhered to it, and the shutdown was successful. And I believe the government also recognize or hear our voice, and they are willing to talk to us. I think yesterday a talk has already been initiated in Kangpopi, and it will continue today also.
But you know, you've declared what you call an indefinite complete shutdown. Indefinite makes it sound as if this would continue for days, if not weeks. Do you really intend to go on for that long?
Right. Right now, we cannot allow the Métis people to freely move inside our territory. So the shutdown can be relaxed within our town and territories. However, the border between the Métis and the Kuki-Zo would be sealed so that to stop any movement from the Métis side.
You say that there could be relaxation within the Kuki areas to make life easier for the Kuki-Zo people. That's the next question I want to put to you, because the people who are suffering from this indefinite complete shutdown are also the Kuki-Zo. They can't move around in their own areas. They can't go shopping. They can't do anything. How long will you impose it on them?
That's right. That's why there has to be some kind of a relaxation so that our people can also go about with their daily life. But we cannot compromise on the opening of the borders. We cannot allow the Métis people to just barge into our territory right now.
When will that relaxation start?
Today, the talks with the government will continue, and the MHA, I believe the MHA are coming down to meet us also. So let's see, after the talk, if things are going in our way and things are looking positive, then maybe yes, we can go ahead and relax these
Two or
shutdown.
three, 2 or 3 times you have referred to talks with the government. You suggested there was some contact yesterday. You said that there will be further contacts or talks today. First of all, who in this government are you talking to? Is it the state government in Imphal? Is it the central government in Delhi?
I would say both. In this, in the district level, we speak to the DC or deputy commissioner who represent the government. In the central level, I think we are speaking to MHA.
Who
We
in
also
MHA
spoke
is
with the
talking to
governor.
you? Who
We
in
also
MHA
spoke.
is talking to you?
Sorry.
Who from the Ministry of Home Affairs is talking to you?
Um, Officials from the IB as well as the Northeast interlocutor are often engaged with us in talks.
Are you also in direct touch with the governor, Mr. Bhalla?
The governor have met the Kuki-Zo, I think, twice. Once in Churachandpur, Lamka, as well as in Kangpokpi.
After March the 7th or before?
After he resumed his position,
But
Mr.
has the governor met you after your indefinite shutdown was announced and began?
No, not yet.
So you have talks with the local authorities like the district commissioner, you have talks with some officials from the Ministry of Home Affairs, but you do not have talks with the governor and his administration in Imphal.
That's right. After the shutdown, yes.
What sort of response are you getting from the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs?
You see, the MHA has been requesting us. Last time when we were planning to organize a peaceful rally, the Ministry of Home Affairs have requested us to cancel our rally, citing that there could be a possibility of violence. And now that the government is introducing a free movement, we inform the Ministry of Home Affairs that there's a possibility of violence, considering the declaration made by some Métis civil society, as well as there are press releases from the Kuki-Zo side also saying that the free movement cannot be allowed. So, having known that there's a possibility of violence to happen because of the free movement, the government is still going ahead with the free movement. Shows that the government, MHA, is not taking us seriously.
It sounds as if the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs, is adamant and obstinate and sticking to its position. As you say, they're not taking your concerns seriously.
That's right.
So you're not getting an accommodating, favorable response, even though some sort of talks are continuing.
Every time we had a discussion with the MHA, the central government, they always talk about peace. Peace has to be there, conducive environment has to be there for the political dialogue to happen. As far as possible, the Kuki-Zo people adhere to whatever requests the central government is giving to us. We comply to their request, but we do not see any kind of headway or progress in terms of our political dialogue.
So I'll come to that political dialogue because I think it's important. What is your sense of the Modi government's response to your key demand? This is the most important demand you have for a union territory with an assembly. You've had sporadic talks with the government over several months. How would you characterize their response to that key demand?
Right. The fact that the Prime Minister has not yet set foot in Manipur speaks volume about his attitude toward the problems in Manipur. More than 300 Indian lives has been lost in Manipur, but still he continues to ignore it. This clearly indicates that the central government, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, is not serious with the condition, with the issue that we're facing right now. Recently, when the governor of Manipur met with Arambai Tangol, the Arambai Tangol submitted numerous demands, which were all anti-Kuki-Zo. Among the demands, the Arambai Tangol said, the governor gave, after the meeting, the Arambai Tangol said in the press that the governor gave them assurance that no separate administration for the Kuki-Zo. And the next day, the Arambai Tangol submitted arms to the government. Also, on 8 March, the Tribune reported Amit Shah tells Manipur governor that Kuki-Zo demands for UT will not be entertained at the governor security meeting. So all these are indicators that the government of India is not serious in solving the issue of Manipur. They continue to treat the Manipur issue as a law and order issue, and they try to forcefully impose peace by using security forces. The problem in Manipur is much more than that. It is an ethnic cleansing program where one community is trying to wipe out another community. The Métis civil societies have declared war on the Kuki-Zo, and they are successful in driving us out from the area.
Let me ask you this, Ginza.
Mm.
All the indication that you're getting, whether it's from the governor in Imphal, whether it's from the Home Ministry in Delhi, is that the government is not seriously considering your demand for a separate administration. How unhappy does that make you? How frustrated does that make you?
Right. It is very frustrating, and the frustration can be seen on the 8th of March in Kangpokpi, where the people agitated in protest against the free movement, and that ends up in the loss of lives, and many people, and more than 50 people are injured. So it shows how much frustrated we are with how the government is handling the issue. I would like to add
You're
here,
saying what happened on the 8th of March is a direct reflection of your frustration and your unhappiness over the way the government is responding to your key political demand for a separate administration.
that's right. Instead of addressing our issue and concern, where we lost so many lives and property, the government is trying to impose peace forcefully on us. So what we wanted is the government to first address our issues, and then we can slowly move on with whatever programs the government have.
My last issue, according to the schedule, the next time buses will attempt to ply between Imphal and the hills is tomorrow, Wednesday. If that happens, will we see scenes similar to the ones we saw on Saturday, where there was violence, where one person was killed and 43 injured? Is a similar repeat of violence, killing, and injuries likely to happen tomorrow if the government goes ahead with its schedule to ply buses?
See, after the agitation and protests we have seen on the 8th of March in Kangpokpi, I don't think the government or the Métis will attempt to cross again. So if there is going to be such attempt by the Métis or the government, I think Kuki-Zo people are ready to face them. So we will not allow any such movement of the Métis people, and we will stop them tooth and nail. So we will not. We will be totally against this free movement as of now.
So you're saying two things to me. One, you don't believe there will be an attempt to ply buses tomorrow after what happened on Saturday, but you're also saying if there is an attempt to ply buses, you will stop them tooth and nail. The Kuki-Zo people will not accept it, which means we could see repeats of the violence that happened on Saturday again tomorrow, Wednesday.
That's right.
As blunt as that, that's right.
Yes. I don't think, I think the government of India also realized that it was a mistake to introduce the free movement as of now. But if they still wanted to continue after so much injuries, so much protests, even after the loss of one life, if the government still wanted to proceed with the free movement, then we have no option but to face the government.
Ginza Vualzong, thank you very much for the time you've given me. Thank you very much for explaining the position of the Kuki-Zo community, as well as how you view your contacts and your so-called negotiation or talks with the government. I'm deeply grateful. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you, Karan. Bye.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch the interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.